Hey guys, welcome back. In last lecture we talked about operators. In this lecture we'll continue with call stack. Now let's start. Open your coding editors and you'll start by copying some code I have prepared for you and you can find in the resources of this lecture. First I will comment this out and I will create here a new function, export default. Alright, so we'll export here a new function, export default, new function, and now I will paste here code you should find in the resources of this lecture. Just like this. Okay, you can write it down or you can copy it from resources of this lecture. And your assignment is very simple. You should tell me in what order I am calling these console logs and what I am displaying in a console logs when I will execute function A. So you can write it on a paper or you can write here comments and just tell me in what order I am displaying and what I am displaying in console logs. Okay, so for example, first I will display here this console log. So my first console log will be hello from, all right. My second console log will be something else, my third one, and I would like to see order of all of my console logs. Okay, so go ahead, stop video, and you can try to figure it out what's happening in these functions. All right, when you are done, I will write here debugger and we'll simply debug this code and we'll talk about call stack. All right, so let's write debugger in front of this function, in front of the function A. Okay, let's go back to our browsers and let's see this. So I will inspect this page. All right, I'll clear this out and let's refresh this so we'll get into the debugger and let's make it wider because we would like to see this code here. All right, so let's see, nothing is happening here. Okay, you can see here call stack. So call stack is in which order your functions are called and which functions are currently active in memory. All right, so currently you cannot see here any function A, B, C, D, E, F I defined here because we are going to call function A, right? So I will step on this line. So I will use this arrow, step over next function call, and when I want to get inside of a function, I will just click on this arrow pointing down. So step into next function call. This will execute function A, and you can see in a function, in a call stack, I have a function A. All right, so I am executing function A. I will assign to variable greeting, and you can see here const, but you can imagine here var. It doesn't really matter. I will talk about const, var, and let variables in the next lecture. So for now, don't worry, this is something like a var. All right, so I'm assigning here to a greeting hello from function A, and now I will display here hello from function A. Okay, so my first console log is hello from function A. You can see it in a console. Here it is. Hello from function A is here. All right, then I'm going inside of a function B. So I will go inside, step into next function call, and I'm sending to function B a value of hola. All right, so I'm sending their function. I'm sending their value hola. I will click here on a step into. I will get into my function B, and now you can see your call stack. We called function A. Our function A is still active because after all, we didn't finish this function. You can see function A is not finished because we called here function B, but we have still some lines here to execute. But before we will execute these lines, our function B was executed, so we are continuing in function B. Okay, we will keep these lines for later. All right, so we are continuing in function B, and I am assigning to variable name value Philip. So my second console log will be greeting, which we send here from function A. We send here hola, so this hola gets to a greeting. All right, and now we can display hola Philip. Okay, so my second console log will be hola Philip. You can see it here. All right, let's continue. Now I'm calling function C. All right, so I'm clicking here on this arrow down, and you can see in my call stack now I have a function A, B, and a C, and my function A and a B are still active because I didn't finish execution of these functions. You can see in a function B I have still one console log to display. All right, so let's continue in function C. Here is not much to do. Okay, so this is my third console log. And here I am straight away calling function d, and I am sending inside 7 plus 7, so I am sending inside number 14. Okay, I will click down on this arrow. This will execute function d. So now you can see in my call stack I have a function a, function b, function c, function d. All right. Here I get my sum over 14 because I sent here 7 plus 7. This was evaluated as a 14, and in function d I get value 14 as a sum. Now I'm assigning sum, which is a 14 times 2, which is a 28, to a variable called times 2. So in a times 2, I have now 28, and I'm consoling log out 28. So they should get here, and I should console log out 28. So I have here Ola Philip, done, not much to do, and 28. All right. So I am returning from here times 2. Okay. Remember it. I am returning from here 28 value from our function d. When I will continue here, this will close the function d because there is nothing to execute here more. Okay, so this is my last function here. I can continue here, so step over next function call. All right, so I will click here, and this gets me back where I was previously. You can see in my call stack, I don't have any longer function d. It's not here. Function d is not here. Okay, because that was the last line in a function d, so there is nothing more to execute, and function d was kicked out from a call stack, so it's not here anymore. But after function d, we called previously console log. Okay, so we have after function d, so our function d was closed. It returned value 28, and it assigned this value 28 to variable So holds now 28, and now I can console log 28. Okay, so just to be sure, one more time. We were last time in a function d. We returned from here 28, and that was the last line of this function, so this function was closed. Since our function d was called previously from function c, we get here, okay? Because we returned 28 from here, we get here, and this returned 28 to this variable, and we are consoling log out 28. Now I don't have here anything more to execute. There are no more lines in a function c, so when I will continue here, execution, step over next function call, this will close this function c, this will kick out this function from a call stack, and it will continue probably in function b here. Okay, so this was a function c was called from a function b here, so it will continue here in a console log, done. Okay, so that's what I expect to see. So I will continue this, and you will see now we are in function c, and we are calling here console log done, and function c was kicked out from a call stack. You don't see here any function c in a call stack anymore. Okay, and when I will continue to the next line, you should see console log done. Here it is. All right, so we display done, and now function b, we are on the last line. There is nothing more to execute, so we will return back to our function a where all of this started. So we'll continue probably here, right? So this was where function b was called from, so we'll continue with the console log here. Okay, let's see. Let's continue. So I will click here on this arrow. Now we are continuing to console log. Execution is almost finished. All right, so let's see. Console log. Execution is almost finished. Perfect. All right, and now we are calling function e. Currently, we have in a stack only function a. When I will click here on this arrow down, you will get to a function e. And you are consoling log out here and annoying here. Okay, we are annoying, and we are displaying this. Okay, annoying here. Now function e is almost done. There are no more lines to execute, so we will close this. We will kick out this function from a call stack. We will get here only. We will stay here only on function a because there is still one line to execute, and this last message we assigned bye to last message variable. So we will console log out here bye. Just bye actually. All right, so you can see bye is here, and this is our last message, and our call stack is done. And when I will continue, we are getting back here to Vue component and to some other handlers here. This Vue related code. This doesn't interest us. We can continue. Everything was closed. Our application is running. Okay guys, so this is what is a call stack. This is how your functions are called and how they are still active in a memory of a browser, of your computer, okay? And you could see how they are still active and how they are closing up when you are reaching end of these functions. Before we'll finish this lecture, I would like to go back to coding editor, and probably you see here these const variables. I will be talking about this in the next lectures, but for now you need to know that a const is something like a variable, but it's a constant. You cannot reassign its value. When you will say one time const a equals my name, for example, Philip, you cannot say a equal Peter. This will throw an error. Const variables can be assigned only once. They cannot be reassigned. Similarly, you have a let. So let's say let b is equal to 28. Let variables are very similar to vars. You can reassign them. So I can say here b equals to 14. Okay, so one more time, constants are like a vars, but you cannot reassign them. You just assign this value once, but you cannot change it later. Let, you can change later. You can assign value and you can change it after. Okay, so this is important to know. From now on, I will be using const and a let, and I will be explaining in a more detail const and a let when we will reach certain level of understanding of a JavaScript. For now, you just need to know const let. Okay, I will keep it here. Okay, one more example, guys. Here, I will show you how to debug this code. I'll show you how you can throw an error first. So, for example, I want to throw error in a function C. So I will write here, not here. I will write here throw error like this. Let's save this, and let's go back to browsers. Sometimes you will see something like this. Okay, very nasty, red colored message with a couple of messages here. So, okay, here we have this variable a is read only. As I told you, this constant a assigned value. So this is the first error. It's displayed here, and it's saying here that a is a read only because we created const variable, and I told you const variable can be assigned only once, but we're reassigning this value in our code. And you can see here also this error, a is read only, and you can search up for your code here. You have here a couple of messages. Most of them are coming from a Vue framework, but when you will search very carefully, and most likely you will find on the first few lines your code. So I can see here, this is a Vue code, this is something read-only code, but here is my code, playground.js. When I will click on this, I can see where this error happened, and this error happened here. Okay? So I can go back, I can fix it, I can just simply command it or remove this. Alright, when I will go back, this error should disappear, but I should get another error. So I will clear this out, clear console please. Let's continue execution, and you should see here different error. Because we are throwing error in our function C, so for example here, you can see here call stack. Okay, so here is an order of a function that were called. First of all, when we run our application, there were called some Vue functions we don't know much about. So you can see here there is we created Vue component, then a component was initialized, and we called some call hook, and then invoked with the error handling, then we created lifecycle function on a Vue. But here is the interesting part. Here is our call stack. We called function A, from within function A we called function B, and from function B we called function C, and error happened in a function C. So by this we can tell that in function C is somewhere error, and when you click here, it will show you there is an error. So when I will click here on a function C, like this, I will see that somewhere here is an error, it finds me function C, and I can see that I'm throwing error here. So most probably it's coming from here. Okay, so this is just a small advice to debugging, how you can find the issues when you can see such errors. Of course, sometimes it's harder to debug your code, or harder to find the error when you see some Vue related code, or maybe some message you don't understand. But it's always good to just take a look what you are seeing here, try to understand it. If you're not sure, just Google for something, and so on. So guys, that should be it for this lecture. Before we will finish, I will give you an assignment. Please take a look one more time on this. Make sure you understand call stack and a function, how they are called. And you can call few functions by yourself. You can just call them. Maybe you can pass functions instead of the functions, or you can just do crazy stuff with the functions. But practice creating of functions and just debug your code a little bit, console log out some informations, just, yeah, play with the code so you get a little bit more familiar with these concepts here I just explained. So guys, that's it for this lecture. In next lecture I'll continue and I will be talking more about objects. So we'll get a little bit more familiar with the objects and this context. Very interesting stuff. Guys, see you in the next lecture. Cheers.